Boo-hoo. Do we have a Rebecca?
I mean,
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Do we have a Jack?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Do we have a
All
Santa?
right. No, you don't.
Oh, well, no game today then.
Yep, no game today. Good to have fun. No, I'm kidding. So, we return to the city of Manchester. Yeah, it's a city at this point, not a metropolis. Return to the city of Manchester as we find ourselves back into the secret tunnels and rooms beneath the university. As last time, you had not only defeated the Rebus, but had successfully shot a pile of clothes. Or what was something that then became a pile of clothes after being shot. The room is tattered and ruined. The various columns have been busted from all of you attempting to fight against the Rebus. There's a little bit of fire, just kind of all over the place. Not spreading, but it's
On
just
my clothes.
on your
Tapping it out
clothes.
like...
It hurts. It burns.
Yeah, because I took
One of the
aggravated fucking fire damage during that fight.
one of the one of the few things that legitimately hurts a kindred instead of just tickling them is fire. And there is, other than the crackling of flames and the soft fall of debris, there is silence. The pile of bones that had made up the Rebus is no longer moving. As we find ourselves in the silence, what is everyone doing?
Right, to kind of like make sure I'm not still smoldering.
How many doors
Looking
are there
around
in?
for the others.
About to say, how many other doors are there in here aside from the one we entered?
There is the one off to the side of the room that you guys were originally going to. There's a path behind the throne up on the second floor. And you can't see if there's any others on the second floor. However, because the other individuals vanished, there's probably either that or at least passageways of some sort.
Interesting.
So you said not to follow him and carry on with the mission of just doing what we came here for?
Mm-hmm.
So through this door it is then, I guess.
Yeah, find the ones who's gone missing. Why have I gone Irish?
Because you really miss Fridays.
You've
Sure.
gone a bit Nora. It's all right. So, are you all heading towards where they had said that they took your
Yep.
associate?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Alrighty. So as you head for the door opening up, you find that it leads to a stairwell that seems to descend even further. There are torches lit that sort of light up the way, but the torches don't contain fire, they contain sort of the glowing orb of light bulbs. Electricity runs through this place. And it's only now that you can hear the sound of something whirring down below, like gears and machinery. Do you descend?
Why not?
I guess. I have my gun out. I'm also not right at the front, by the way. I'm like trying to like be in the middle of the group because like I am
Mhm.
really injured.
I mean, let's be honest here. As soon as we were going down a new hall and such, I'm thinking that the people who were more melee focused are probably up front.
Probably.
So as we descend ever downwards, sort of moving along the path, you find yourselves in a similar long hallway to the first one that you found yourselves in. Except instead of cage like doors and side rooms, there are what appears to be coffins. Each one with each one sort of open face with an individual inside. Not all of them kindred, but all of them appear inanimate, with tubes going into them, tubes and needles, sort of syringes of some sort, um, siphoning out sort of their blood. You do see, you can tell the vampires apart though, as they are staked. The tubes lead up to the ceiling of this room and seem to head in one direction behind what appears to be a large sort of statue of a individual. He looks very saintly. Robes of the Catholic variety adorning him with a sort of crown of sorts. In one hand, he seems to be holding a book, while in the other, he seems to be having it rest upon a sword that is impaled into the ground below. His face has been carved and shattered. Anybody who's looking at the statue can roll me a intelligence plus occult if they would like.
I'm just looking for the guy we're here for.
Sure, I'll look at it. Let me just find a cult. Okay.
Intelligence plus occult, was it?
Yeah.
Alright. 2 plus 3.
Nice. A 6, a 9, and a 4.
A 6, a 1, and an 8.
Hey, we both started out with 6.
Lillian Kaz, the statue depicts the visage of Saint Leopold, the no longer recognized Catholic saint of he is essentially the patron, the protector of that which is human from that which is not. However, this statue is badly damaged. The sort of face, half of the entire head section, almost just completely crumbled away.
Well, they certainly don't keep maintenance down here.
Hmm.
And yet, a lot of the machinery and the tubes and the coffins are well kept. It only appears to be the statue that is in disrepair.
Wonder why that is.
Do I see any sign of the guy we're here looking for?
You don't see him specifically amongst this group. but there is a door on the far end, beyond the statue.
Hmm. Not sure if we should start unhooking people or see if we can find our man. See if we can find our man beyond that door first.
Right.
What do you all think? Keep looking specifically for the one we're here for, or start unhooking the other kindred, who we don't know whether they're friend or foe.
We got a job to do.
Door it is. Anique's gonna go
So
look at the door.
you look at the door. You can hear sounds of electricity and the whirring of machinery behind the door. There is this soft buzzing sound, and then several loud, shocking sounds. And then it returns to the buzzing sound, and it repeats like that for a little bit before there's just silence.
The sound is zapping. I'm assuming that someone may be getting tortured.
Hmm.
Can I hear any like sound of people moving or voices beyond the door?
Make me a. Go ahead and make me a
That's how
wits
much.
plus awareness, please. Also, a sandwich would be nice.
Uh, just 3. Okay. Jesus.
You only hear the machinery.
What are we listening out for?
Listening to the door buzz, seeing if there was anybody on the other side, any movements, but all she hears is the machinery.
Allow me to try and have a listen. She's going to
Go
listen
ahead.
out for any instruments that are not of the parties.
Can I also have a wits plus awareness, please?
2 plus, where's awareness? Oh, 1. 875.
875. Alrighty. Um, are you using? Do you have any specs and auspecs?
Uh, heightened senses.
Yep. Alrighty. You do hear on the other side
Oh,
of.
add the raw specs rated
Hmm.
soul perception rolls. So does that mean I add 2 more rolls, or
Yes, you would
Mhm.
add. You would add two more to that.
okay? So on top of that, it would be an 8 and a 10.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just in D&D.
You do hear a soft, almost electrical sound, but it's not from the machines. It's from an individual. You can hear them moving. You can hear the rhythm of their heart, and you can hear the rhythm of someone else's heart. There's two people in the room. One a lot more panicked than the other. The other is a lot more calm, almost excited compared to the other.
Mm.
I'm hearing 2.
True.
2 heartbeats. two instruments. One seems excited. The other one seems more worried, I guess, would be the term.
So there's at least two people. Living people, of course.
Well,
Two people. Living or dead
living or
is
dead.
unsure.
I'm hopes of getting through this without a confrontation,
We've
getting in
already,
and getting out, are getting slimmer.
we've already had a confrontation. That's gone to zero.
Yeah.
I would rather avoid another one.
Slightly higher chances of not having another confrontation.
Hey, who knows? This one might not be fair.
I really hope not. Right. Let's do this then, I guess.
Are we going in subtly or are we going in guns
If
blazing,
we
I guess?
can, try to be quiet if we can get the drop on them. Might be better.
I mean, if we utilize silence of death, you can technically open the door quietly.
Hmm.
I believe that only works on us and not
Uh,
environmental situations.
Fair, very fair. I don't use it often enough to really understand it.
Hmm.
Let me see.
In Cloak of Shadows would
Only
require us to
works
stand still.
on people within earshot. Yeah, it only works on us,
They'd hear
not
the door,
anything
they just
around
wouldn't
us.
hear us stepping through the door.
Yeah, unless they have an all specs power active.
Well, then I guess we hope that the hinges are soundly oiled.
So I can only hope. You good with trying to be sneaky, Jax?
Jeez, I haven't said anything in like, what, half an hour? Is that not proof enough for you?
I
Sneaky
mean,
doesn't really seem like you're.
Well, I was letting you all do your thing.
Which is surprising given the one of the things we had to do would have been one of your things.
Well,
I'm quite surprised that you weren't there for that fight.
To be fair, I think I did see him trying to get up to get to the other guy.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Whereas I know this one's going to be extremely sneaky given they keep going invisible.
like, I keep forgetting they're there.
Sneakiness is my favourite thing.
Oh, why don't we send them in first?
I'll go in.
Yes, send the Nos in. Why not?
Definitely would be intel gathering too.
We're all on board with the Nos going first.
Yes.
The Nos on board with going first.
Yes.
Yes. So I've got a question. How are you getting into the room?
How is the door looking? So the door is closed, right?
The door is closed.
Is it? There's no lock. It's just gonna open as soon as I.
Not locked. It's a heavy metal door, probably something more akin to what you would find in the catacombs and the crypt. There is some ornate design to it, but it's heavy, sort of metal, raw iron, in case of any peeking or prying specters or fae or bitches with a W.
Mm. I'm probably just gonna have to go for it, open it as like slowly and as like to a point where I can just literally like squeeze through, so I'm hardly opening it, and then just kind of
Roll
hope from
me,
there.
roll me a composure plus stealth, please.
Okay. There we go.
Alrighty. Not bad. That's successes
Yeah,
versus the
that's.
one.
I'm pretty happy with that. I put everything into my stealth. I can't lie.
You very much open the door just wide enough for you to slide in. The sound of the door opening is hidden by machines, as you're able to let the door close just barely, using your hand to stop it from closing fully, to stop it from clicking in place. As you're able to sort of slide through the room. As you enter the room, you see that this is a room with four different large vats of this sort of dark red liquid. Looks similar to Vitae, but looking at it, you know for certain it's not Vitae. It may contain Vitae, but that's not all that's in it. Mostly because you also see in each one corpses. One singular corpse per vat of these half sort of formed creatures, their rib cages sort of sticking out, their flesh you could almost swear is moving, shifting as if it's trying to restitch itself. Their faces, each one's face, are mangled and rotten, or perhaps rotten's the wrong word, perhaps regrowing. There are two individuals in this room. One is strapped to a large, heavy metal table, the kind that you would see in an undertaker or a Bobby's morgue. The other is this very doctorly like individual. However, he is wearing a mask, this sort of white porcelain mask with these sort of eyes carved out. Only one set of the eye. There's four different carved eye sets, but only one actually has his real eyes. The other ones appear to be shrouded with a black sheen glass of some sort. Um, as he's walking around, he has in his hand what appears to be a book. As he's kind of flipping through, he seems to be at a table of levers as you can see tubes coming out of the individual on the table going into the vats, and you can see wires coming down from the ceiling and connecting with different parts of the individual. As the scientific fellow, unknowing of your existence, flips through the book a little bit, looks up. All right. Now that was lever 3. We will try lever 4. And he's going to flip the supposed lever 4, as again the buzzing sound comes from nearby machines before a course of electricity goes into the individual.
Oh, lovely. This is great. I'm so happy to be in this room right now.
You
How
can see, by
far?
the way, that this individual is a kindred.
Okay. How far away is this doctor from the door? Like, how far away are we speaking?
He is about 10, maybe 15 feet away from the door. His back's to you, as he's actually in between you and the person on the table.
Okay. Because I'm trying to think of if it's a good idea to be like, everyone come in, but maybe not if it's 10 foot, honestly. I kind of want to see what's going on, so I'm gonna get closer and just like observe what the hell this guy is doing.
You can see as this individual is shocked, you can see that the tubes begin to pull blood out of him and into the vats. And as it does, you can see some of the wires are going towards the vats as well. As the blood sort of descends, the wires begin to shock the vats. And you can see the corpses inside begin to involuntarily writhe with the electricity, meaning that they're getting some form of nerve stimulation before the electricity stops and they're wearing the machine. The doctor takes a second, begins to write something down in the book as he looks at the kindred. One of the more durable ones, that is for certain. Nobody makes it past lever 4. Perhaps you will be the one, yes? And he starts to make notes before he looks at the vats. No changes. Same old, same old. You'd think they'd wake up by now. And he taps the glass. There's no response. Perhaps not enough, or perhaps you just aren't what is required. Hopefully it's the former, not the latter, because and you'd probably want to be alive a little bit longer, although maybe you'd want a swift, silent end. Who knows? Lever 5! And he pulls the lever as the process begins, just like it did earlier.
Cool. And we need to stop this man's. I'm gonna try to get some other people in, at least like 1 or 2, very sneakily again. Do I need to roll anything?
No, but they will, because they do not have
The
your
stealthiness.
obfuscate
Well,
abilities.
no, we do. At least me and Ranna do. I think have obfuscate.
I've got
I
obfuscate.
can be quiet. I just can't be invisible while.
Yeah, we can't
Yeah,
can't be invisible unless we're standing still. But like,
Yeah.
Then yes,
we can be
you will
silent.
need to. Those of you entering the room will still need to roll a. We'll still need to roll a. We're gonna do a composure plus stealth for this.
Okay.
So
Unless you
3.
have, unless you're
I'm
using an obfuscate ability that says
I
otherwise.
am going to use Silence of Death.
So
Same.
Make a sound. What is Jax entering, or is Jax staying outside of the room?
Jax will sort of see everyone sort of
S-
begin to activate the stealth abilities, for lack of a more in-character
Jesus.
term, and I see. You let me
So-
know if you need me, right? Because I most certainly will not be keeping as quiet as you good folks if I go in there.
So what do we add something a dice to our roll, or do we just enter silently for using Silence
You
of
enter
Death?
silently. It means if his awareness is based off hearing, he cannot take note of that. So you are basically silent with your footfalls.
Okay.
So he could really only be able to see you through perception, and
Mhm.
that's not really gonna happen here. The reason you're rolling the stealth though is because of the door in this case.
Okay, so we're
And the
still
sound
rolling
the
the
door could.
stealth.
Yes.
That's what I
Are
was
we
wondering
still
about.
rolling it with the composure as well, or is it just a stealth for rolling now?
Composure plus
It's,
stealth.
it's still with the composure plus
Okay.
stealth. You'd be worse off if it was just stealth.
So
Um,
I feel like I need to screenshot
could
this, otherwise people may
I?
not believe what I rolled.
Please do screenshot it.
I'll throw this in D&D chat, but that's an 8, 10, 8, 10, 8.
Nice.
Could I potentially make the argument for dexterity? For just like very carefully moving the door.
I'll allow it.
So dex instead of composure is basically what I'm going for.
Mm-hmm.
Because my composure is only 2.
It's a valid argument. I'll allow it.
Mhm.
Alrighty. So you all managed to stealth in the door, not really making a sound. As you can see,
Nice.
much the same thing that Zane had seen. As the scientist begins to write, as he's flipping the lever back over, the electricity stops. The bodies stop writhing involuntarily. And no changes, no changes. Maybe you're not the one. Maybe there are others. I had great hopes. But I'm running out of levers and you're running out of time.
From looking at this doctor,
Mhm.
he's completely covered up, isn't he?
He is, yes.
It's try I want to try somehow to figure out what kind of kindred he is, but it's going to be difficult if I can't see him.
Do you have the Bloodhound trait?
I do have Bloodhound, but only level 1.
Remind
Um,
me what Bloodhound trait does, just to make sure.
I believe you can put another point into it to get it up to scenting other things, but that only states
He,
human
yeah,
resonance.
you can only, yeah, it's only human residences.
But could I still like make a roll to see if I can catch his scent amongst all
You
this
don't have
mess?
to. You don't have to roll for Bloodhound. Give me a second. He does have a resonance, which
Okay.
means he is human,
Oh, he's
or
human.
he might be just a stack of animals on top of one another. You're not really sure. He's very obviously human. In fact, he currently smells of choleric, the
Oh.
yellow bile adrenaline, which is angry, violent, bullying, or passionate slash envious.
Oh.
And a
Um,
little bit of a fun fact: choleric, if it's your residence, increases melee damage. Did not know that. I thought choleric was the one that made you more durable.
Neat.
um, so the doctor guy is human. Um,
Yes.
the guy on the
However, the
table
person on
is
the table
kindred.
is not. Yeah, very obvious. Like his skin, he's been shocked so many times over the wires connect, it's burning. And you can see that he's not bleeding as it like because even if you get burned, even with electrical burns, there's still blood. He does not have that. You can also see that he very obviously has fangs, because he's screaming to the point that um, like you can see those.
This kindred, from where we are, we can kind of see him.
Hmm,
Can we tell if this is the guy we're looking for?
it is indeed.
I'll kind of look to the others and just because I can't speak because like
We know each other well enough. I'm pretty sure we can understand the look.
I'm going to point to the doctor guy and I'm going to do a slit throat motion
Ooh, hang on.
because like and
Uh,
I'll mouth human.
question. Is there
Hmm.
any other doors in this place aside from the one we entered?
There is. There's a door on the far end.
She's going to motion towards that door as if it's like someone try and block that. Because I have an idea. It will involve me having to reveal myself to him, but it will also stop him from being able to do shit.
Can I try and motion for Zane to go over to the other door because he's more stealthy and can move around a bit better than us?
Hmm.
Or,
Zane will go over.
because if you block that door, what I'm She'll be trying to try and motion this with hand signals, just to try and keep silent. But essentially, the idea is if I use Daunt to fear this guy, so he can't really act against us, block the door so he can't escape, this will also mean Jax can enter without worry.
While she is getting ready to do this, I also want to move along a bit with Zane so I can try and get behind the doctor.
Aren't we already behind the doctor?
Are we?
Yeah, Santa said.
Yes, by about 10 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is the thing, because Kaz wants to step out and like try to get his attention, which should generally, I think, draw him the way that we are, unless she's moving around a different direction.
She'll be
So I
probably
wanted
moving
to get
towards the
to the
side for it to
other
let
side.
you have the behind.
Okay,
Because
that's
that
good.
also means that Jax can get in from behind easier too.
Okay. So Zane's blocking the other door so he can't run.
Yep.
But
Given Zane's
then
invisible, that should be fine.
there's also the chance that Daunt might not work if he's like true faith.
I mean, he's a human.
If they're true faith, like the other guy, it might not work.
So humans are, yeah, most humans are easy, but there are a set amount of humans that have access to what is called true faith. True faith being that they literally, it's basically magic, but divine magic. Um, and so it is the antithesis to the beast, which is what is inside of the kindred. It's that hunger. So with true faith, most disciplines that affect their emotions don't work on them because they're fortitude. Also, those that are really advanced in true faith can summon literal sunlight as a weapon. It's
Mm-hmm.
overpowered. Humans are mages are strong.
Yeah.
Not that true faith comes from mages. You do have to be born a human. Mages do have to be born mages. But
Yeah.
true faith is, it's also rare, by the way. True faith is rare.
Oh yeah, it's
Most
rare.
kindred don't.
But
Okay,
Most kindred only
so
come across it in groups of hunters.
can I do
which
something then to
these
try
guys
and...
technically are.
I'm going to try and do something then to try and see about this.
Mhm.
Because I'm assuming that I can do this silently, because it is just a passive thing.
Mhm.
I'm going to try for a premonition to see what would happen if I did reveal myself to this guy using Daunt. Basically, if it would affect him or not.
Interesting.
So I have to make a rouse check, resolve and all specs, essentially. But
Mhm.
remind me what a rouse check is?
Um, it's to
It's
see if you get
you just
hungry.
hush those. It's just a normal die, one die, and it's
Okay,
yeah.
so I just roll one die on top of all this.
If you fail, you gain a hunger.
Okay, rouse. Okay, resolve and all specs and rouse.
See, if I had a drop of his blood, I'd be able to tell anyway.
Resolve is... Why am I struggling to find this shit? Resolve is there, so that's 3. All specs is the level that this is being used from, which is 2, so that's 5, plus another one is 6. So the last number would be the hunger dice.
Yes.
375, 566.
375566. Did you roll your rouse check?
Yeah, it would have been the last 6 because it rolled 5 dice for the normal things, rolled the last die for the hunger.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Um. So the rouse does pass, so you don't get hungrier. Alrighty. Now here's the thing with premonition. You've asked your question.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the issue. And it is purely because premonition works differently with Malkavians. You still get the answer, because it's one question. If you had asked more, I could have given you a truth and a lie. So I'll go ahead and give you the truth.
Back in just a minute.
Hang on, give me a sec. There we go.
Mostly because you have yet to suffer from a compulsion, so.
I just had to turn you up for a bit because the telly's loud.
Oh, sorry.
No. The
So.
telly's loud on our end, like in the room.
So, as you perceive the world around you, you see yourself moving forward from where you are, almost like a more ethereal, ghost-like shape. You can see everybody else, and then you can see this sort of more ethereal version of them right where they are too. As this ethereal version of you moves away from you, you can see them moving towards the scientist, his ethereal version moving around. You can see that you do activate Daunt. And as you do, the scientist lets out, he says something, but you can't make out what he says. Before he seems to pull the lever, the sixth lever, and then juts something into his throat. Before the ethereal version begins to fall, vanishing before it hits the ground.
She'll just raise
Then
a
the
brow.
other ethereal versions vanish.
She'll just raise a brow at this as she comes to. And motion over to. I almost said motions over to Kaz. God damn it. Motions over to Aniqui and to. What's your character's name again, Ranna?
Lillian.
Motions to Aniqui and Lillian. Just to the machine. Specifically the 6 switch. Then motions to the guy, then the switch. Basically tried to imply, yeah, if I do this, he's flipping the switch.
Hmm.
And then just motions like something jabbing into the neck to imply, and then he's going to try and basically use something on himself.
Lillian proceeds to gesture at the doctor and then just extends menacing claws from her fingertips, pointing at him. And then slitting her throat gesture.
What kind of suit is this? Is this like one of the best way to describe it is like a hazmat type suit where it's like getting bulky? Or would we actually be able to get to his neck?
More medical. This is the Victorian ages after all. So he's wearing very much a what one could perceive as a late 1800s white sort of medical gown. That of a that of more so a surgeon practitioner. However, you do see that he does have wrappings around his extremities, including his throat. But it's bandages. Something sharp enough could definitely pierce through that.
Which way is he looking currently? Is he looking at the kindred? Is he looking at the machine?
He's actually currently looking in his book, but he's kind of up and down from the kindred in the 4 vats before looking back at his book.
Can I try and get closer, but like keep myself out of his line of sight, just to kind of get closer to that machine? That way, if he does try to go for the switch, I can kind of stop him.
The machine is within his line of sight. It is on the other side.
I-
On the other
Well, that's
side
what I
of the
mean. I
table.
want to get close to it while staying out of his line of sight.
Okay.
Not like I don't need to be right up
yeah.
next to it. I just need to be closer
Yeah,
to it,
yeah.
so I can try and
Yeah.
get there if he tries to do something with it.
So
Yeah, you can do that.
before you do so,
Hmm.
Kaz is going to look to see to what Lillian just motioned, then motioned to you as well. Basically, with the idea of if she goes for the throat to try and slit it, we grab his arms to stop him from doing anything.
Hmm.
You know, hold him at least long enough for Jax to burst in and probably suplex him.
I'm more concerned about stopping him from pulling whatever lever that is.
I mean, if we
Well,
got
if
all
you
of his
have all
arms, he can't
of
pull
his
it.
hands. Unless he just suddenly monkey hands somehow. But that would be a little weird.
This is where
Good neat.
this is where we discover this is Miro's origins.
So, retain and decapitate.
Pretty much my idea at the moment.
Cool.
And if we need extra help in doing so, we've always got our invisible
got-
friend there to rush from the front to try and restrain him as well.
Yeah, we've got Zane over there, got Jax on the other side of the door.
Basically, if we could just help restrain his arms for a bit, everyone could just dogpile him afterwards.
I'm just concerned that they've got ways. They've been capturing Kindred.
Yeah. This is also assuming that this doctor is in charge of whoever's capturing shit.
No, the guy in the deer mask was in charge of it.
Mm.
But this guy seems to be in charge of their experiments, I guess.
You can see at this point in time, as he's writing in his book, his hand begins to go towards the sixth lever. Well,
We need to.
one last time, shall we?
I'm going to try and grab his wrist to stop him from doing that.
Which arm are you going for?
The one that's reaching for the lever.
Is that his right or his left?
I don't know. I don't know if he's right or left-handed.
In this case, he's right.
So as you're going for that, she'll go for the left while she motions to Lillian to go for the throat.
And Lily is lunging for that wonderful neck.
So here's the thing: he is he is a kind, which means, and he's just a normal kind. He doesn't have true faith. If he did,
Okay,
he'd
that's
reveal
good.
it the moment you came in contact. Because people with true face, upon coming in contact, your skin kind of burns. So he's a normal person. So I don't actually need to make you roll to restrain him the way that you are, especially since there's two of you. There's no way he would be able to outpower two kindred. That being said, you're slitting his throat, right?
Slitting, almost decapitating if possible.
And you're using
I'm using
your feral weapon, your claws.
Yes.
Yes, alrighty. You're trying to decapitate him.
Mm.
Okay.
This is what I'm worried
Normally,
about.
normally I'd make you roll, but I don't think I need to make you roll. As they grab his arm, he begins to scream and holler, "No! No, devils! Demons!" Before you just bring your claws up behind him, ripping through them with this sort of serrated edges of your claws. Because whereas normally feral weapons would be like elongated animal claws, because you are Tazim, they are more so bone and tissue, you morphing your own finger into becoming a weapon instead of just becoming something animalistic. as you were just able to basically bring the serrated bones and just carve through his throat as like just gurgling sounds. As you're able to sort of continuously bring his head back, blood spurting all over the place. You see blood striking against the vats, the machinery, even the table on the far, before just the head rips off from the back. It's not a clean cut, but it is a cut nonetheless.
I'm gonna pick up his book and pocket it
I'm going to
for
keep hold
later.
of his freaking head.
The mask sliding off from his face as the bandages. He's just a normal old dude and under the mask.
Like a butter knife through aspec.
Do you mind just tilting that slightly?
The head?
As you know, so you go take a couple like the little vials from my belt, just fill them up with blood and pocket them. Given I do have the iron gullet, therefore I can drink
You
non-fresh
do
blood.
have iron gullet, so you can pocket some blood.
It's good to
Yeah.
see. It's not going to
Can I
waste.
like sniff his blood to like make sure it's safe before taking essentially just a fresh
It's
sip?
safe. You would know before now that because of you being bloodhound, it is safe.
I'm going to like essentially, I guess, drink some and try to heal my wound a little,
Alright.
my wounds a little bit with it.
Go ahead and so healing in this game requires you to just take some time to focus as you literally do the process of sewing your body back up. Because a little bit of a fun fact, you're undead. Your body cannot heal normally. You literally have to force your body to sew itself back together.
I'll just do it for like one
Um,
of my wounds for now. I'm not going to bother trying with the
yeah,
aggravated yet.
it takes. I believe it's. I want to say it's an hour per
Oh,
wound.
forget it then.
But
Uh,
in this situation, because you're using Vitae to assist, we'll lower that down.
okay.
She'll Kaz will
I
also
think I should-
motion for the others, but like, if you're a bit quenched in that lot, may as well get a bit of a free meal in while we've got it.
Just kind of like, also she kind of has a bit of a like smile as she drinks it. It's like, ah, the blood of a
I would
sinner.
I would warn against drinking too much from a dead man.
Yeah,
It's not. There's no negatives to it. To your kindred side, but it could look bad when you drink from somebody that you've killed because it's technically illegal in the masquerade to kill your prey. Now, this is the circumstance of the exception because he was obviously a threat to another kindred, but always be careful in that sense. That's just a warning because I have to give that warning at least once.
I think she's
Um,
Anique's
Sit
enjoying it a
down,
little bit
child.
just due to the fact that this guy has been torturing people.
On the other side, we may also want to kind of reserve some of that in case I.
I have to ask Anique,
Mm-hmm.
are kindred people? Because you know that the kindred has probably done just as bad to humans. Maybe this kindred, maybe the other kindreds. There are many kindreds. There's this just awful. There's not exactly being a good guy in vampiric
Oh no, it's
society.
not to do with the
Uh,
vampires. It's to do with the Fae, the humans, and the Lycans
Hmm.
that they've
okay, cool.
killed. It's nothing to do with the vampires.
I just wanted to ask what your character's philosophy was on this.
She doesn't particularly
Because
care about other kindred. It's just he is It's
Yeah,
the it's more the essence of like what he's done, the torture, the killing. It's more the act of it that she cares about rather than who he's done it to.
yeah, because I was about to say, I'm kind
alrighty.
of surprised by the idea of, yep, no, I don't care about what they've done to that they did it to vampires. I care that they did it to Fae, humans, and Lycans. So that last one just threw me for a loop. It's like, Aren't Lycas supposed to be, the big boogeyman for us? Who'd care
They're
what happened to
enemies,
them?
but they're also
So
in their
most
essence,
Guru,
they
the
are
Guru
the
are the good
natural
guys.
like keepers of the world.
Yeah.
They're meant to keep
Now
the natural order.
most Gurus don't do that anymore.
No.
But to the twisted philosophy of the character, and there are reasons why I'm asking this. There's
Yeah.
stuff to do, but it does make sense slightly because Guru are werewolves in this setting are a little bit different. They're not cursed. They're gifted, and so in that sense, if they do what they're supposed to do, not all of them do, but if they do what they're supposed to do, werewolves are the
Oh, that's
weird,
right.
fucked up good
Welcome back.
guys of this setting. Because they're supposed
Oh,
to be maintainers of balance in nature, which is why they don't like vampires, because you guys are literally the embodiment of everything they hate. You're undead, you're
but
selfish, you're greedy, and you feed on people.
but again, it's not so much the people that he's done it to that she cares about, it's the act itself.
It's the act itself.
Yeah.
Which means that yours is a more so philosophy based upon actions, and that's okay. I'm just trying to gauge what this is. But yes, on that,
It is
though,
also because of,
yeah, I
the
know. That's why I'm asking.
but also she couldn't give a shit about the guy on the table. She doesn't like Tremere.
Well, it wouldn't do if he died. In
Well,
truth.
the only reason she's doing it is because she kind of has to.
Yeah.
But like,
Mm.
Speaking of,
Just imagine all the punishments he'll be in when he gets back.
Speaking
given
of
how injured he,
anybody feeding, oh, yep, go on.
given how injured he looks, should we spare some of the blood for him to try and get some energy back for him?
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Not
we were
too
told to bring
much.
him back
Yes.
alive,
Yeah, not too
not in a
much. We
good
don't want him to
condition.
fight with us.
He is currently in torpor,
Yeah,
which
we were
means
told
he's
to bring him
inactive.
back alive, not in good condition. And they can just wake him up themselves. He's in torpor right now.
Fair.
It'll make it easier to transport him.
Huh.
But now
We
the
should
question is, do we free the others?
Hmm. I mean, if they are missing kindred, I imagine somebody would like for them to return.
What's
Guess
the
it.
what's the term? A favor paid now is a favor paid back later.
Depends which side they're on, I guess.
Fair.
But to a kindred and a fae, favors are important. Even though they might be a Sabbat or Camarillon, to have a kindred in your pocket who owes you. Money's good. Money's okay, but currencies and values change. They inflate, they recess, or they change from society to society, culture to culture. But a favor in the society of the kindreds is so important that whether you're Camarillon or Anarch, they are recorded down in a book and they are maintained by what is essentially a broker of favors. And they are literally more important than money.
Favors are
To have a
told.
vampire that owes you is a major thing. It's
And
also
how?
why kindred barons prefer paying in cash than they do not paying in cash, because if a baron owes you, it's yeah.
Yeah. And how many vampires have we seen down here?
Not counting this one because he's part of the job.
Yeah.
There's the three. There's the three others that are in torpor as well. Plus the Fae. There's about. I'm gonna say there's three Fae as well, and there's a couple humans, but they're deceased. They're dead.
There's no Garu or
No,
any
no
other.
Garu. The only Garu was in the one in the room before.
And
Okay,
it's dead.
good.
How would you say the quality of the human flesh is?
Awful.
Awful. Well,
They've
just
been
checking.
carved into.
Add on
Well,
to add on to
Somebody
that.
has horrifically vandalized them.
Add on
Oh,
to
that's
that, if
depressing.
they're high-ranking vampires or those that believe themselves to be in higher standing, they're not going to be wanting it let out there that they were captured so easily. So they'd probably be wanting to get that
Perhaps a double
favor paid
favor.
back to us for our silence. No?
well, let's
I imagine
unhook
the
this one
favor would be also
first.
equally interesting.
Unhook this one first, and then free the other. So set to work, trying to like just pulling, like getting the things out of this Tremere.
Right.
Getting the tubes and shockers out of him.
Getting the tubes and socks.
I mean, yes, they've stuffed him with socks. I don't know why, but like,
I think it's because they got a couple of wires mixed up here. Also, I don't even know if tube socks were invented then for me to continue this joke.
By the way, Jax, you did hear earlier somebody screamed out before the sound of just blood splurting.
I mean,
And now you just hear them all talking on the other side of the
yeah,
door.
we're all chatting now, so I think you can probably assume that it's finished.
They're having such a good time murdering things without me.
Just kind of like,
Jax,
like,
we need
you
you to
could start
carry some.
unhooking the other vampires or carry this guy for us if you want.
Oh, you're done, huh? Just sort of pops his head and goes, right, I knew that.
Snack? Dead body on the floor
Well, before it
Oh,
dries up.
well,
before it curdles.
I see that you've had yourself a fantastic little time down here.
Suppose I should have John bring the carriage around, shouldn't I?
Mm.
If we want to make a fast getaway, yeah.
Have I managed to take all the things out of this premiere?
Yes, you have.
I was gonna like, Jax, pick him up. I think you're stronger than me.
Sure,
Be sure to
fireman's carry
him.
myself, whatever this guy's called again.
I don't like Tremere. I don't want to touch his filthy skin.
Oh, yeah, I guess I'll pick him up.
Alright.
Probably take the time to bundle him up as well, just in case there's still people outside.
I mean, do you have a rug?
Would there be any large cloth-like items, Mr. Santa?
Yes.
Marvelous.
I'll go
Preferably
out.
without any holy items, of course. We wouldn't
Oh,
want to accidentally put a cross on this person.
yeah. I'll go out into the room and start trying to unhook the kindred, but can I tell what type of kindred they are from looking at them?
The only three that you might be able to do that with is a Samidi, a Gangrel, or a Nosferatu. You know that there's none amongst this group.
Yeah, okay.
So you're not entirely sure what else they could be.
Unhooking. I'll unhook the one we know first. Like the guy that got dragged off.
He's not in this hallway.
Oh, where'd they take him?
I mean, there is another door going further in.
Oh, do you and Zane want to check that? See if he's there?
I'll go and check it out.
I don't suppose I hear any more instruments or anything coming from beyond that door, do I?
You do not.
Sounds silent to me back there.
Wonder if they gave him the true death. Might want to check it just in case anyway.
Hmm.
I'm just unhooking the nearest kindred.
After I swaddle the target, I will help.
Alrighty. Is anyone checking the other door?
I will.
Alrighty. So as you open the other door, as your hand reaches for the handle, you get this feeling, this cold feeling along your spine, like little needles, like something grasping at it. A feeling of fear. As your hand makes contact with the handle, you can feel this tenseness in the air. As you open the door, the first thing you see is a cupboard filled with cleaning supplies.
There's nothing else upon investigation.
Oh, well, of course, there's other things. They're English, after all. There's tea in the cupboard.
Oh,
Where do you
I'll
think we
take that.
keep our tea?
I
I don't even
But
keep
you
tea,
keep
and I
tea
know I
everywhere.
don't keep that in
It's
the
like-
fucking cupboard.
It's like
You don't keep
Americans
it in,
with
like-
guns, where like Americans with guns tape their guns to everything in a house. You guys do that with tea, don't you?
okay, so
No, you don't keep your tea in a cleaning supply
Emergency tea
closet.
stash.
Like,
Uh,
I'm gonna
drank
tr-
bleach.
he has to multitask. You think there's a lot of storage room in these catacombs?
I'm gonna try something.
He's got one closet. He has to kind of put them both in with each other.
I'm gonna try something, given we know this is a tricky guy with
Yes,
these
please.
little illusions and such. She's gonna
Please
go
do.
up to this
Also,
fur cloth's
I
closet.
specifically did that to piss off the English.
She's gonna go up to the fur
Yes.
cloth's closet. And she's gonna sense the unseen.
Sense the unseen. As you begin to sense the unseen, the closet is a closet. It's covered. Cleaning supplies on the bottom, some other supplies on the top. You know,
Yeah, seems
a
that's
little bit
how
dusty, a
that's-
little bit filthy. As you turn around, though, the corpses are looking at you.
Seems that's all it is.
Boy, that's our cupboard.
To everybody else, they're just floating there, wrapped in a sort of chain, keeping them lift in the four vats. But to you, they're looking at you.
Okay, I know you're gonna put this down to Malkavian bullshit.
hmm?
Those
What?
corpses
Looking
are
back into the other room.
The corpses are staring at me.
To you, Aniqui,
Well-
they're just floating there.
This guy's like, don't know if it's your bullshit or not, but it's someone else's problem now. Let's just get out these guys and get out.
Very well.
I got his book, so hopefully someone else can deal with this.
So, are we leaving the room? Or what are we doing?
Yeah, let's get.
I'm-
the-
I'm hooking everybody, like the
Mhm.
vampires in the Fae. That's pretty much what
Yep.
we've been doing.
Are we freeing the ones in the vats as well, or are we just leaving those?
No.
No, they're corpses. They're like half, like, they don't have any legs. They're like, one of them only has one arm.
I don't think we should free them if you think they're staring at you.
Oh, trust me, I think a lot of things. This isn't thinking. I know they're staring at me. I'm literally seeing it.
All the more reason not to free them then.
Is it like an angry stare or a desperate stare or?
Or is it just
Like
a
a
blank, creepy
To a
stare?
mouse.
Yeah, we're not
Predatory.
freeing those. They look like they want to eat us, like we just dealt with that guy.
Oh, predatory staring. Understood.
Yeah.
Then we're definitely not
What-
freeing them.
Perhaps we should burn this place down as much as I hate fire.
What could it be then if the got that kind of gaze.
I'm not entirely certain that burning down an entire university is exactly what we're gonna call subtle.
Well,
It's
You
very
can make it
difficult to
look like
burn
an
down
accident.
such a specific part of it as well.
that other guy had that massive weird amalgamation thing. Perhaps there's something to do with that.
Possibly. Mm.
Have we managed to unhook them all? Santa?
Yes.
I'm gonna go over to one of them and unstake the vampire.
Stolen torpor.
We don't have any blood to give him.
Hmm.
It's gonna be a pain carrying all of them out.
Mm.
So we've got to go through the archives to get out of here too.
Indeed.
Yep.
I can't exactly give them vampire blood because of Tremere's.
Hmm.
I mean,
Staring at the torpor sleeped fucker. Uh,
I suppose if we check first and distract, shouldn't be too big of an issue.
this won't be an issue
After
if you
all,
all just developed, you know, a solid iron gut like myself.
that's not the problem. Do you really not know about the Tremere blood curse? They cursed it so that
Says
drinking
when
blood
when
of other
Tremere
vampires is bad.
No, so just do like the slow eye blink and then just be like, I was talking about me feeding, the blood I've got on me to them, not vampire blood.
I mean, technically it would be unpleasant, but I'm pretty sure they could do it.
No. No.
No.
Shouldn't drink from other vampires. At least not
I
now.
wasn't talking about drinking from another vampire.
Oh, you're still talking about the dead
they're
blood.
talking about the human. Yeah.
I would never drink from another vampire, no
I think
offense.
Anique still is pretty hung up on the whole drinking from other vampires thing.
I mean, unless we
Aniqui,
manage
keep
to be
bringing up this whole thing about drinking from other vampires. Are you sure there isn't something you wanted to say here?
No.
Begins
Eh.
to let it off protest too much.
Just kind of mutters like I couldn't if I wanted to.
I mean,
I will die.
Catherine,
Out of character, I will die. The worst part is that's my clan's bane.
mhm. Trying to think if you can technically diablerize. You can't, which is
No.
why you've got. Yeah,
Well, no, you can. Like,
you'll just
but like, the problem is because of Tremere at this point in time, I can't if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm. So we begin to head through the tunnels as we leave the room behind. As the door closes, you hear the sound of glass shattering.
Mm.
Do we also follow that up with hearing liquid spilling on the floor?
You do.
Right, grab the corpses, let's go.
Yep, time to go.
Not staying around on a courtesy, huh?
No, we're leaving.
All right.
Just like trying to pick up like six.
All right. Jeez, making light. Don't need to act like I'm trying to stay around and fight everything. Just most things.
You know, you begin to run through the halls, rushing back up the stair, throughout the catacombs. Are any of you taking the time to explain to the librarian as you come back up to the library? while you're carrying a bunch of bodies.
Just as we're going past, like, so I was having a drinking party down there. Time to, we're all passed out.
Down where? But it's probably too late, as you all have probably already rushed.
Yep.
Jesus.
I
Fucking
don't know, but
young
there's a
people.
lot of it's quite loud. Might be time to call a day off.
Oh,
They have-
Might
Hello,
want to go
children.
home.
I mean, yeah, no. Well, doesn't take much persuasion to tell a librarian archivist who gets paid not even minimum wage to take a day off.
Yep.
So
Don't know if
he's
you heard the
gone.
noise. Don't know if you heard the noises down there. Someone let loose a lot of dogs. Not nice ones either.
The party
As you
with
say that,
dogs. Take a day
they're
off.
standing in the doorway is a pug.
Oh, for fuck.
Told you, dogs.
Lillian just coos at the freaking monstrosity of a dog.
Is this one of the monster dogs? Just kind of looking at the others.
It's a pug. They're all monster dogs.
Or drop a body, draw my gun, and point it at the dog.
It's not gonna tell you.
Fucking move or die.
The dog's
don't
face
know if you're
opens up
smart.
and tentacles come
I am
slamming
going
through.
to shoot it.
Fucking go ahead and roll me dexterity plus firearms.
I understand the situation calls for it, but good lord, has subtlety left.
Sometimes the masquerade be damned. Oh no. Oh, that's by 1 point. As the tentacles begin to wrap around your arm, you fire into it. Is this yipping sound before it closes its mouth and starts running off into the distance?
This is not
No,
the
wait,
last time.
pugs snort. It's just the snorting as the pug rushes off into the distance. Am I giving Dion a pug to throw at you guys? Probably.
I mean, are we talking about early-aged pugs or the pugs of today?
I am going to
little
put
bit
my
of
gun away and pick up the body again. It's like, let's just go. I'm done with this place.
John's
Yeah.
already outside with the carriage.
It's gonna start tossing people in the back.
Well, might be the first time I've ever been happy to see this guy.
Oh, John's a very
John
lo-
looks at you. His very lopsided face as his eyes, as he's just like,
Yeah, right, shouldn't have said anything to you. Now you think I like you. Just keep moving.
It's like, John, we've got some cargo. Just tossing
"Oh,
unconscious
Jesus,
Fae and vampires in the back.
I don't know if you all heard that, but
What?
if you
Mm.
did, you did. If you didn't, you didn't.
You were muttering, sir.
Cav leans down to you. I watch him when he sleeps. Cav lifts back up.
You did have a
As you
watching.
all are able to get in, there's the sound of the reins being whipped as the horses neigh and begin to take off.
So, where are we taking these? Are we just taking them to the prince, the baron,
To-
whatever, at this point?
To the warehouse. Back to the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
I see
Yeah,
no
I mean,
reason.
for the one guy, but like, what about the others?
Well, I suppose we could take them back to the hotel.
I suppose I see no reason that our good host would really take much issue with returning lost goods.
Well, let's go drop off the Tremere at the warehouse, and then we'll take these guys, the vampires at least, to the baron.
Mm.
Maybe we'll get some extra pay out of it.
Well, I suppose we could drop the Fae off by the alleyway.
We don't know if they're friends with the Red Caps, I guess.
Fair
But
point.
I'd like to wake them up so they know that they owe us first.
Mm.
could even say
What
it's...
kind of fae are we dealing with these three individuals, good Santa?
Oh, well, that's kind of obvious. We're dealing... If where we're dropping them off, we're dealing with Valley Fae.
You don't know. Fae terminology is not well known outside of Fae society.
Just going to
They
like,
don't look like red caps, do they?
just gonna grab one of
From
them
what
and
you've
just
seen of red caps, no, they do not.
Well, they're definitely not red caps.
gonna grab one of them and start the like smacking like side of the face, like trying to get them to wake up.
Gentle wake up.
Wake up.
They don't wake up because Faes are heavy sleepers. Also, they're unconscious. And slapping people who are unconscious does not actually wake them up. It just makes it fucking worse.
I'm not a doctor.
I know.
Santa.
Hmm.
Do I have smelling
Would it
salts?
be accurate to say that Lillian, given the fact that she knows how to use sleeping stuff, would also have unsleeping stuff?
The issue isn't that they're asleep. The issue is that the vampires are in torpor, and it takes a little bit to get out of torpor.
Yes, we're talking about the fae, though.
The Fae, on the other hand, are in stasis. Essentially, they are alive, they're asleep, they're unconscious, and their body is that way on purpose right now.
Huh.
Okay.
So they won't wake
It's-
up unless they want to wake up.
They won't wake up until they are a-okay to wake up. The other issue is, and the Red Caps had said this, you guys represent banality, your kindred. How the Red Caps made it sounded like Fae don't really handle that well. And so being in your presence after that long of a traumatic situation, they gotta stay in stasis until they are used to you.
Kind of like. So,
Bit
do you
racist.
relay this?
Oh, yes. So, in other
So,
words, they won't wake up until they're comfortable.
shall we just take him to the red caps on the way then?
I suppose we
They
could.
might know how to wake him up.
And I'm certain that the Redcaps would love to poke fun at them for being saved by vampires.
As long as they know it was us that saved them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess we'll stop off and drop off, like,
Stop
stop
off and drop
off
off.
at the
Alright.
alley and find the red cap again. I don't think we'll just dump them. I think we'll like find that red cap we spoke to and drag him to the carriage.
Alrighty. And as you do, he takes them. He's basically he lets you know that although they're not part of the same kingdom, it's even for a red cap dishonorable to kill somebody that's in such bad shape. So he'll make sure that they at least get returned to their kingdom, somewhat in one piece.
Make sure they know who they owe
Mm.
for their safety.
He nods.
If not, I'll come back and find you.
He gives you the middle finger as he carries them off.
Just as soon
Anyway.
as they're
Job,
out
you-
of like earshot, she'll just like turn to him like, "You do realize we never gave our names to them?"
I think we did.
You may not have.
Some of you did.
Yeah,
Freaking
Not all of
business
you, but
card.
some of you did.
I know I did.
Aniqui did, Jax did, and I think Lillian did. I think the only one that didn't is Zane and you, Kaz.
Yeah, but that's because I know what Fae are like. Screw giving a name to a Fae.
Luckily, red caps aren't that kind of fae because they're a milk child.
It also depends whether it is your true name or not, or whether you changed it after you became a vampire.
Also, it's a harder trick to pull on a kindred,
Hmm.
as you kind of already did.
Mm.
Right. Let's take this one, points at the bundled up Tremere, to the warehouse, and then we'll figure out what to do with the rest of these guys.
Oh, I thought we were taking the others to our own higher ups.
We will take him to our hideout after we've dropped off the Tremere.
Alright, I don't want that thing in my helm.
No. I'd rather get rid of it sooner rather than later.
As you stroll up to the warehouse, you do see a individual standing outside of the warehouse, rather nicely dressed, looking up. You notice he's one of the people that was with Baron Largo when Baron Largo had made his introductions, as he kind of looks up at you.
Got your runaway.
Doesn't say anything. Looks into the cart. He seems to be chewing on something. As he just shrugs, moves over to another individual by him, who hands him, we'll go essentially a bag of money. And he's gonna toss you the pound of pounds. That's fun to say.
Pound of pounds.
Don't know the conversion, right?
How much?
How much is a good question. Gonna go. Keep in mind, currencies change. Especially the pound. We're gonna go 158 pounds. 158.79, which would be $200 worth. I have to say that because I'm American freedom money.
I mean, back then that would definitely be a lot of money.
Especially in Manchester.
Mm.
I did some research which during this era had a pretty high poverty rate. Plus, this is during the era of the Victorian inflation as well, so cashies. Sorry, not inflation, recession. But yes. Also, because I just recently learned that the pound and the quid are apparently the same fucking thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm chalking that up to the fact that it's something similar to a dollar and a buck. But it's still I don't know why it irks me so much that both our cultures have two different names for the same currency. We should just pick fucking one. Just go with it.
If I recall right,
Like
we've
I
got more
don't
than just a pound and a quid to call it.
Yeah, you've got other names too that I looked up, and it does bother me slightly.
Oh, we
In
just
the-
like giving things stupid nicknames. You could have a pound, a quid, a bob.
Yeah.
you guys
One.
aren't exactly the most
Here's 5 bob.
original with your naming schemes.
Also, that's how
Sterling.
much money everyone gets in the chat.
This is not Steve.
So I'll just make a note of that because you will
Give me 5
get to keep that.
Steves.
That the big fellow will grab the unconscious. He will take him to the cart before he turns around. Gives you a thumbs up. Gets in the cart, and they begin to go on their merry way.
I'm
Right.
assuming that when you say 0.7, that's 70p rather than just 7
Yeah.
pence.
It's 70p, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Technically,
0.59.
well, the actual thing comes out at 39.725. But it'd be essentially £39.72
Yeah.
divided between everyone.
Oh, £39.72 is divided between us all.
Yeah, well, that's each, what you get
Okay.
each. Because I already did because we got 158.9 divided by 4 is 39.7. So I'm not giving Aniqui a share of that because she's not continuing over.
Fair.
So basically, in lore, she will have got paid. In actuality, it's just split between the 4 of you.
She got paid, she's just going off to do other things.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my god.
As we head to the hotel and to find the kindred a safe place, going to move out of here as we move up into the city, up further as we get a bird's eye view of Manchester. As time skips and the sun begins to rise, as you are all nice and cozy in your respected little havens and sanctums.
Yeah, Aniqui would have gone back to her own haven.
And that is where we close the book on this learning experience, hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
and begin the main campaign.
Yep.
I hope you all had fun. If you enjoyed today's session, stick around on the channel. We've got Devil Darlings Season 2, Shadows, Dark Tides. Don't know why I thought Shadows. Dark Tides of Runeterra. If you like D&D stuff, also on YouTube we have Echoes Through the Past, From the Past. I always get it confused. It's From the Past, right?
Echoes of.
Echoes. I can never get the of Echoes of the Past. I watch this and I can never get the of. What the fuck? And then we also have over on Spotify, other
Superfly.
things. Other things. We've got things in the works. They won't be out for a while, but they're actually in the works officially. I've been working my ass off on it again. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But I'm not saying shit. On that as well, thank you all for playing. This is the point that the recording turns off. Bye bye.
Also, I just found out something as well just by googling it because it's like we got that much money. I was going to make a joke of I could buy so many Cadbury's cream eggs. Cream
You
eggs weren't
can.
invented yet, but Cadbury was around.
Crabberry was around, yes.